Hi everyone, we are so glad that you can join us tonight, whether you're here or at home. We have a fantastic show ready for you. JD is going to be talking about this fabulous painting right behind me. He's going to do a little bit of a live painting, and then I am going to be interviewing our gallery director, Kristen Rivas, to talk about what's new at SLG. So let's begin. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Yeah.
And without further ado, let me introduce the star of the show, J.D. Miller.
Hell yeah. All right, is my mic working? Yes. Grace, what do you think? We got it ready to go.
I think we've got it more than ready to go.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts. So the easy part tonight, guys, is the painting, all right? We put all this together. My brother Marcus, Jeffrey Miller, is the director. Marcus, you did it. Put it all together so far. So tonight we're going to do a few things, right, Grace?
Yes, we are.
So first of all, I'm going to start by what we've got behind me. Is you guys see this painting back here? This rather large piece? Oh, man, I'll tell you what. This is the biggest painting I've done in my entire career.
It's what, 9 by 7 feet?
It's 2 9 by 7 feet.
2 9 by 7
yeah,
feet, that's
so
right.
multiply by 2.
Yes, don't forget the math.
That's right, it's a lot. So what we did, so there's a fabulous hotel that's being built. Actually, it was built in 1964. It was the original First National Bank, and it was closed. And so Todd Shawn and his team have spent $450 million remodeling this place. And it is going to be, mark my words, the most fabulous building downtown Dallas has ever seen. There's nothing like it outside of New York or London. And so part of that, it's going to be a hotel on the bottom. It's going to be a Thompson Hotel at the first 11 floors. And then from 12 on, hey, Alex. Hi there.
Hi, Alex.
Yeah.
I think you're the third member of our team.
Yes, he is. So basically, so they're pulling out all the stops, and so they decided in the hotel lobby, it's going to be these rich fabrics. I mean, they went around the world buying just amazing furniture and all these jewel tones and rich, just opulent. Okay, and so they decided next to the reception desk, there's this huge wall, and we decided to paint these two paintings for it. And so we had the canvases built. It took a week just to build the canvases. Brian Hardig, our cabinet maker and canvas maker extraordinaire, built those. And then Arturo and team mixed over 200 tubes of paint. Right, Arturo? Yeah. We're not exaggerating. You did it. His hands were cramping at the end of the day. And then so basically when I paint in oil, I have to do it while it's wet. So I can't come in and do a little bit here and then think about it and do a little bit. So I got up that morning, I came in, it was the day to do it, started at 9 a.m. and I didn't stop for 14 hours. I did take a 20-minute lunch break, right?
It's quite the feat, yes.
Yeah, 20 minutes for lunch. And then literally my hand is still sore from holding the knife for 14 hours. But guys, this is it, it's done. And this is going to be in the lobby. So
how amazing is that, everyone?
Yeah, fun.
It's incredible.
So what I'm going to do tonight, couple things. I thought since I've got a little bit of gold paint and some of the paints I used in this leftover, I'm going to do a little miniature version, okay? Using some of the techniques that I did for this and the same type of paint. And it won't take me 14 hours, which is good.
Yeah, we don't want to keep you all here for that long.
No, like 13 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So tonight's show, this is actually the first, we did a test show a few months back, and then, oh my God, I caught COVID-19. So I've always been an early adopter. So I figured I'd get it over with, right? And so I did it, and I was out for 5 weeks, guys. And so we were supposed to have this first show last month, but took me a little bit to get well. Thank God I'm 100%, otherwise I couldn't have done this. But this is our first official Reflection Friday. And basically, and thank you guys for a few of our friends. Kind of crazy. I mean, there's been a lot of negativity in it, but there's been also a lot of, I think, introspection. And I think a lot of us have realized, first of all, how freaking fast we've all been running. I mean, nobody's stopping to do anything, to literally smell the roses or spend time with your families. And so when they shut our gallery down. In March, one day we get the call, it's a Tuesday, we have to shut our doors for the first time in 12 years, Friday, and we don't know when we're coming back.
And I was only here for 2 weeks before it happened.
That's poor Grace, our assistant director, had started 2 weeks before. And we go, just kidding.
Yeah. Great to have you, but leave now.
Yeah. So that's what we did. So we had to close the doors. But during that time, I have to tell you, what I told our staff was that here's the thing. In every time of calamity, there are always those who prosper. And a lot of it is just the way you think about it. You know, you can either buy into fear and worry and, oh, woe is me, this is the most horrible thing. Or you can say, you know what, we're going to look for the silver lining in this. And so we got everybody together, and Grace, I said, Grace, it's good to have you here, but you got to go home. And so we said, everybody, I just want everybody to go home, and let's just focus on, we're going to be those that prosper. And so while we had that time, we had to change everything about our business model. I mean, at Samuel Lynne Galleries, our marketing has been events. We did over 60
events last year.
60 events last year, because for us, you can get a kind of an idea of our work and our fabulous art online and in photographs, but you really got to experience it in person. So overnight, that was gone. So we started thinking, what can we do? So that's when Leah Fisher and all of us got together and said, let's do a live broadcast. Well, for those of you that tuned into the first one, whoa, it was rough. But you know, we stumbled and bumbled and we got through it, and we said, this is something we want to continue to do. So what we're going to do, we've branded this as Reflection Fridays, because we are reflectionists. We are believers in the law of attraction, putting out good energy, and everything that we do here is about that. So the first Friday of every month, from now on, we're going to have a live broadcast from the studio. Now, tonight, I'm going to paint. A little bit later, Grace, we're going to interview Kristen Rivas, our director.
Yes, I'll be interviewing her. We'll go to the gallery, the front part of the gallery, and we'll talk about some new images from, some new pieces from Matissa Tash, Tyler Shields, David Yarrow. You'll see a little bit of Brandon Boyd in there in the background. It's going to be really good. We're really excited to show everybody.
Yeah, so it's going to be more like a variety show. So tonight I'm going to paint, and then the girls are going to get to take a break, and Kristen and Grace are going to show you some of the wonderful new pieces that we got in when things started shipping again, which was nice. Mm-hmm. But every month will be different. Like, I want to bring in Sean Todd, the genius behind taking this fabulous building and turning it into a showplace, and have him talk about what was his inspiration for taking an empty building and spending $450 million to turn it into something that Dallas has never seen. And then we'll bring in like Tyler Shields and Brandon Boyd and David Yarrow. So this won't just be about me painting, it's going to be about all of us and everything we do here. Okay,
yes,
does that sound good?
Yes, it sounds great to me.
So what do you think? Should I get to work a little bit and paint?
I think you should get to work and show them the magic behind the metallic process of this.
All right, okay guys, so let's do that. Grace, if you want to just kind of get ready for the segment when we do the live, the new stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, I'm just going to turn into Bob Ross here, okay?
Yes.
All right?
I'm gonna let Bob Ross 2.0 take it away.
All right, here we go.
All right, thanks everyone.
And by the way, if anybody is at home, I just want to say to you guys for tuning in, thank you. We've got friends. I know Heidi up in Seattle. My sister Dana's up in Boston. We've got people all over the place tuning in tonight. Welcome. Grab a glass of wine and just kick back with us. I'm going to get started, and I'm actually going to tell you guys a little bit about what I'm doing while I paint. Is that okay? Yeah, okay, good. All right, this is fun. All right, so the first thing in a painting like this, typically when I do an abstract work, I don't really plan it. I just go for it. Picasso was the one that said when he enters the studio, he checks his body at the door, and he just lets the universe flow. And that's what I tend to do, especially with abstracts. For a painting like this, I had one chance to get it right. So what I did was, I'll show you guys these. I don't know, Arturo, can you get a shot of this? The first thing I started with was just a basic sketch of the basic framework of what this is going to look like. And so that gave me a framework. Now tonight, I'm just going to make this one up. I have no idea what the framework is. But this is where this one started. And what we do is, basically, we take two colors. And for those of you who are painters, this is a color right here called French ultramarine blue, which, by the way, when I started painting 23 years ago, the first color that I put on the canvas was French ultramarine blue. And I'll never forget it as long as I live. You know, I've played music, I've done all kinds of things, but that night when I put that color on the canvas, it was as if the sky opened up, the angels sang, and God said, "This is your destiny." And I'll never forget how this blue went on the canvas, and I knew that that was what I was put on this planet to do. So we're going to start with that. And then this is a color called alizarin crimson. It's a very dark red. And this is essentially, instead of using pure black, it's a way to get black dark tones, but with more depth. And I learned this from my mentor. Her name was Liz Richardson. I met her when she was 87 years old. And I convinced her that I needed to be her protege. And she changed my life. Liz had studied her entire life. She studied the masters. She wanted to know, why are there certain paintings that are good, and then why are there certain works of art that wind up being in the museums? And guess what? It's no accident. There are certain things, like, yes, you have to be born with a gift. You have to have a certain talent, but there are certain principles, just like the speed of light. Whether you believe in the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, it exists. Same thing happens in art. So Liz said, don't just use black, create it using red and blue, and depending on how much of each you put in, like if you look at this on the knife, that looks like black, doesn't it? Right? So I call this Liz's black after Liz, but watch what happens when we put a brush on it. If I can find a brush. Let's see. Ah, now that's a brush. That's a little bigger than I thought. Okay, so basically, depending on how much of the red and blue I put in this determines what it looks like in the canvas. Like right there, you can see that's sort of a reddish purple. If I want to make it a little more blue purple, I add some blue to it. And that's how I did the underpainting on this. And I just went in, I'm going to do a sort of a smaller version of this. I like these circles. So I'm going to start with that. And just let this sort of flow. And depending, like I like that, but then I want to get a little more blue tones in there. Look at that. See the difference? And what this will do, this will give me an underpainting that I can go in and then put the 3D oil in it. And I don't have to do a lot of this, just enough to get a little bit of a framework. And again, we don't have 14 hours tonight, so I've got to do this really in about an hour because we're going to take a break in a little bit, and the girls are going to talk about the amazing new art we have here. And there you go. And then let's just put a little bit around this, just because it feels good. And I have to say, I did love Bob Ross. I mean, he was an amazing guy. And he'd go, I remember he'd go, there's a tree. Let's just put a tree there. That's your tree. It's however you want to do it. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. And look at like the little runs there and everything. It's okay. That's all part of it. And actually, guys, this is about all I'm going to need. And see those beautiful purples, and you got a little bit of blues. And I'm going to let those show through in places at the end. And that'll provide a subtle grid that will come through and make this all fit together. All right. And then let's just do like one here, leading the eye up to there. And then maybe this right here. All right, that's it. Okay, there's the underpainting. Done. So that's what I did first on this. And then, because we wanted these rich golds, and man, I can't believe it, we actually had some left over, which is amazing. But I don't know if you guys can see that, but look at that, it's just beautiful. And we'll start filling in the blanks. By the way, for those of you that are watching on YouTube or Facebook, those are the two channels that we're using to broadcast tonight. We have someone watching for your questions. So if you have a question, just shoot it to me and I'll be glad to answer, because I can talk and paint at the same time. It's amazing. Here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start, because the main color in this is these gold tones. I'm taking this gold paint. And by the way, this is the most expensive paint that we use. It might as well be made of gold. I was very fortunate. I couldn't have started this when I was a starving musician and an artist. Fortunately, when I discovered painting, I had the wherewithal to be able to buy these wonderful oils. But you know what? Everything happens the way it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take this gold and I'm just going to add a little bit of darks here. And it gets almost a green thing. And then what we'll do is we'll start filling these in. The other thing, again, I'm really talking to the people that are artists out there. One thing that Liz taught me is that in order to not get muddy color, you'll notice that I'm constantly cleaning my knife. And what that does is it keeps the colors from getting muddy. All right, so see how we're filling that in. And then the other thing that I learned from Liz is when you have a primary color or a color that's featured, move it around the canvas. So I want to bring the eye down here, and I'm just going to take this and bring that exact color. And again, that's why I have to do these while they're wet, because I'm completely making this color up as I go. There's no way in a million years I could get this exact color later. I could get close, but not exact. And so the other thing is, so we move the eye there, and then let's just put a little bit here, just so the eye can move around the canvas. All right, so there, that's a nice start. And then, so again, this was a commission. One of the things that Sean Todd asked me, he said, I had done a test painting, but it was pretty light tones. He said, I want some darks in there. So I immediately wanted to see this really dark section right in here. I wanted to make sure I had some of that in there. And what I'm throwing in here is some burnt sienna. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of Liz's black, put that in here, and just start laying these other sections in here. Again, I'm just following the lines that I've created and starting to fill it in. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this probably about halfway done, and it really won't take that long. I mean, this is not a huge canvas. And then we'll take a break and have the girls show you guys what's happening new at the gallery, but this will get us started. And again, let's bring that down here. And if you also notice the other thing, and I learned most of this from Liz, is I don't over paint. I'm leaving, see those beautiful strokes? I don't cover them up. If I were kept going, you'd lose all that freshness. I mean, look at how beautiful that sings there. Now what I want to do is, because I love that, I want to bring a little bit of that in here. A little bit of that dark and move it around. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's fun. All right. Let's just go ahead and put this, fill this nice section. Give the eye a place to breathe. And again, how cool is that? See, that's what you leave that there, because that's the magic of this technique. I couldn't have planned that, but I have to be watching, because if I'm not, then, and if I overpaint, I'll lose that freshness. And so again, let's find another place in the canvas for now to move that same color combination around. Get some of the burnt sienna in here. And, you know, I'm really thinking I want to bring it over here. I want to have these two corners vibrating similarly. Again, I don't know why. I'm just going by intuition. All right. So, now looking at this canvas, see this color right here? What would you think I put in there to make that color? That gold turn that color. Sort of a greenish gold, isn't it? Guess what it is? Black. Yeah, who would think black, right? But that's what it does. No, this pure black. Actually, ivory black, yeah. What's weird is that ivory black, wish I have, oh man, not much left here from the other day. Get a little bit more here. Oddly enough, it can actually make gold look greenish, which who would have thought that? And again, nobody taught me that. I just discovered it by chance. Leah and I were actually commissioned to do a suite of paintings for a fabulous residence at the Four Seasons residences near the Memorial in New York. And they wanted a palette that I had never worked with. And so I had to completely invent all these new colors from scratch. But if you can see that, look at that. It's just, see, it's lighter than this. It's not that much different, but it's just those slight variations. And then let's just put, I'm going to go ahead and put this right up against it, because otherwise you wouldn't see this subtle difference. But look how nice that lays in there. And see the purples, how they're coming through? And the reason I kept a purplish tone in these lines is because I knew this gold is really essentially yellow, and purple is the complement of yellow, and so that will add a nice underpinning for everything. And again, I'm putting plenty of paint on there, because I want to see that 3D texture. Just filling these grids in. And then see, I want that to be just a little lighter, because this one's lighter, for a little more contrast, so I add a little gold in there. And that does that. Bam. All right. Okay. And then one more place, again, just to keep the eye moving around. Let's put a little bit of that gold green down here. That keeps it going around. Now, let's do some darks. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just get a little bit farther here, and then we'll take a break and come back and finish it. But really, this painting is not going to take very long. So what I'm going to do here is I want some of these darks in here to really start to get some contrast. I'm going to keep that real thick and dark. Oh yeah, that's nice. And then let's just build this in here. All right. You know, it's funny, I was telling people, I go through phases. I've been a professional musician, I've been an artist, and I've always gone back and forth between the two. And the last 3 years, for whatever reason, my creative muse has been drawn more toward music. The only paintings I've done in 3 years are commissions. But something happened this last week when I painted this, and now I can't wait. I'm coming back in the studio, and I'm going to be painting a lot, and I'm excited. I'm excited to get back. Let's take that up there. Yeah, look at that. That just kind of supports the sphere. And I don't know if you guys see that, but see how the contrast is starting to build between the lights and the darks. Let's just take that up in there. Move that color up in. All right. And then where? We want to put this one more place, this dark. I don't know, I think right here. Just get a little line of it going down here to bring the eye. There we go, that's nice. Again, see that? Not over mixing it. I love that. All right, and now I want a little bit of light contrast. Start building some. Again, if you notice up in these sections here, most of this is metallics, but in a few places I put very flat whites and creams to give the eye a place to rest. Yeah, that is actually not the color there. I think a little bit of this. There we go. Yeah, so I'm going to get, and another thing is I'm not over mixing the paint. I want to leave, I want you to see the brush strokes. Okay. So I'm just building nice little sections here. And the other thing too is I never use pure color. I always modify it somewhat. Keeps it from being shallow. The other thing is varying the brush strokes. Let's bring that down here. Okay, it's starting to get some nice variety. And if I get a little bit of paint blending in there, it's okay. I just make it work. Make it flow. There we go. And then I think I really want to bring that over here. I like that light. I'm just doing very singular strokes. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right. Starting to move the eye around a little bit. Then I want to find, I love this orange gold. So let's pop some of that in there. And it's all, the golds are all the same gold. There's no different golds. It's just the different types of pigments that I add to it. This burnt sienna, look at that, just makes it this rich gold color. I love that. There we go. And let's look at this. I love that. Just pop some of that in there. See, it's just very subtle varieties, just very, not a whole lot of difference between them, but just enough to make it interesting. Okay. Get a little bit more of this orange, rich orange gold in there. And I think right here. Nice big thing there. Okay. Let's see, yep, I think we want some more of that really dark in there. Super dark. Put some Liz's black in there. What'll happen on a small painting like this is I'll get it pretty much blocked out, and then when we come back, I'm going to bring it all together. This is not the complete painting. This is just the first stage. Let's bring that over here. Okay. Then I love that rich umber color. Which here, you know, and I've actually got some mixed up. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. I actually never used this color till I met Leah. She is the one that started using this raw umber, which is by itself one ugly color, but it can really make a cool color. Yeah, that's just a rich brown. Okay, let's pop a line of this up here. Taking the eye up and down here. Same thing. All right. Okay, almost done with the underpainting, then we're going to take a break. Are the girls ready to do the next segment, Marcus? Okay, cool. Then I want a little bit of white in there, just because. Find some. Used up all my white the other day. And again, for those of you who tuned in, what I'm doing right now is just doing the basic underpainting. That's similar to this one that we did for the National. We're going to take a little break and see what's new at SLG, which will be fun. Let's just add a little bit of cream in here. just want pure white. There we go. Let's get a little contrast here going. And the other thing is too, I might come back and change a couple of these after looking at it. Yeah, in fact, I'm sure I'm going to, because that's not working. So I really don't like that color. Guess what? That's how easy that is. That's what I love about oil. You just take it off. And now I can go and back over it. What color would look good there? Oh, I know. Let's put this silver mixture. This is a cool color. It's silver and gold. It almost looks white, but it's not. Get the same, oh, wrong color. Okay, that's gold. Let's do, we want silver. Here he is. Our paint supplier loves us. We use a lot of paint. Okay, now this is cool. Watch this, that silver. I'm just going to take that and blend gold in with it. Oh, just a little more gold. Gets this rich, kind of hard to describe. I'm not over mixing it, just enough. Oh yeah, much better. And again, we'll come back in here in a little bit and finish this. Okay. I want to put a lot of this silver here. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's just take the eye up here a little bit. There we go. Okay, it's starting to build a grid. And then I want to move the eye around with this, so let's just do it here. Just take it right up into there. And I think we can take one, let's just do this. I like the way those short strokes look. Okay. So I'm covering up some of those purple underlines, but I'm going to make sure I leave at least a few of them there for our grid. All right. I think one last thing. Get some of that dark in here. I actually like this. Oh yeah. Go. All right, so I'm going to stop here right now. This is not done. The paintings go through an ugly stage. So when I come back, I'm going to put the final touches, and hopefully I'll be able to bring this all together and make it look like something that somebody knew what they were doing painted. But I think, are we pretty close to being ready to be able to do a segment for what's new at SLG, guys? Yeah, getting close. So again, for those of you who might have just tuned in, this is our first official Reflection Friday.
Hi.
We're at Samuel Lynne Galleries in Dallas, Texas. We're going to be doing this on the first Friday of every month from now on out. We will start at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you know, some nights I'll paint, but a lot of times we're going to bring out, we have the most amazing artists in the world here. We're going to bring in David Yarrow. We're going to bring in Tyler Shields and Matisse Atash and all these just phenomenal artists from, that are literally making history. And, that's what we're about. We're here to, of course, sell art, but we're really more about just doing things important. So if we're ready, let's take a break. And we're going to go to the girls up front, and we're going to find out what's happening new at SLG. Are we ready?
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Good.
This is where I'm going to interview our fantastic gallery director, Kristen Rivas, and we're just going to talk about what's new at SLG. So we're going to go through some new Matisse Attache, some Tyler Shields, David Yarrow, and you'll see some Brandon Boyd in the background. So I think we should start.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to some of Matisse's work. These are a few pieces that we just got in about 2 weeks ago. We were so excited because it's taken us almost 2 years. Her work has been blowing up all over the world. So it has taken us a long time to get these in, and we are so excited when we saw them. These are a few of the Matryoshka dolls. They come in a few different sizes. We also have some brand new elephants. Now this one right here is actually already sold, but all of these are available. And take a look at this one right here. This one is actually mimicking Jennifer Lopez's Grammy dress, and it's the Versace dress. And as you can see, just stunning.
I mean, look at that sparkle. I would want that in my home.
So these are a few of Matisse's works that we just recently got, and we're so excited to have them.
They are absolutely beautiful to look at, and just as Arturo went through and zoomed in, you can just see how intricate they all are and the detail that the artist pays attention to all the work. And so now I think we're going to go over here and talk about the new Tyler Shields that we just got in this week. So let's walk on over. And Kristen's going to talk about this because she spoke with Tyler earlier and his process kind of behind the piece itself.
So this is called Goddesses of Olympia. We just received this piece 2 days ago. I mean, I had seen it, he had sent me a picture, but when I saw it in person, it was breathtaking. And this was shot just recently. And this was at a house. This was not the shot that he was originally going to get. And this just kind of happened. Hannah, the model laying down, she actually just randomly got naked, jumped in the pool, and he said, okay, hold on, we gotta shoot this. This is kind of an infinity pool, and it goes into the shrubs and bushes. But they look like Greek goddesses, and he really wanted to portray that they look like statues. So that's why it's called Goddesses of Olympia.
And they almost, if you really look in, they almost look alabaster with their skin tone. So it really fits into the title of the painting. And I know how popular it is. And I know a few people here tonight have come in and just remarked, oh, I think that's the one for me that belongs in my house.
That's the one for me. I mean, that should be mine.
All right, we're going to turn the corner and then we're going to show you some more of Matisse's new collection as well. So these are a big fan favorite of Matisse's works. They are the punk Buddhas in 3 different sizes. Kristen, do you want to tell us?
Yes. So this is the large. This was the original size that Matisse created. She then has done this medium and then these extra smalls. And if you really look, the detail, I mean, they're so just amazing. And so we were really excited to get all the different sizes in as well. I mean, these are just my little babies.
They are super cute. I know some people, they kind of come in and they look at the work and they think, oh, that's a little too big. But these ones are just the cutest. And you really can see how much they sparkle in the light. And how cute is that? So now we are going to go over to the other new Tyler Shields called Lioness. And this is a great story that Kristen is going to talk about with us again because it's so fantastic. It was kind of a once-in-a-lifetime shot.
It's true. So I talked to Tyler about this, and this was actually shot in some sand dunes right outside of LA. And now usually, because this was during quarantine, usually this place would be overrun by ATV vehicles, motorcycles, things of that nature. So you would see the sand all sorts of torn up. And because this was quarantine and everything was shut down, this was just a pristine moment where the sand was perfect. And there's actually, you can see the ocean in the background. And it's not very often that in LA it's super cloudy as well. So the fact that all of this came together and was a perfect shot, I mean, I could not believe it. And amazingly, so this is Hannah as well, the model. And Tyler said, okay, go walk up this hill. And then she kind of waited for instruction. And he said, just be a lion. And she was like, okay. And so this was the shot that came out of that. And I'll take that.
I mean, it's just amazing all the detail that's gone into this shot. And you can just, Kristen knows Tyler very well, so she can very well imagine Tyler going, be like a lion, and then Hannah just going like this. And it just created the perfect photograph. And we are so lucky to have this here at SLG because how beautiful. The first one and now this one is just a fantastic addition to our collection. And now finally, last but not least, we are going to talk about David Yarrow and a very exciting project that SLG and the hotel and apartment complex, The National, which JD talked about earlier, is participating in.
So this is one of the new Yarrows that we got in, and this is actually one of 25. Yes, 25 Yarrows that we are putting in the National. So they're actually putting one on every floor of the residence. So we are super excited to get this in. And we have 24 more that we're putting in. And we're just amazed. I mean...
Oh, it's fantastic. We actually have them in the back. They're ready to go, waiting, all packaged up. So it's pretty incredible to look at and be a part of.
It is. And the fact that you could get off the elevator at any floor, and boom, a Yarrow.
And fun fact about the National, so it used to be the first national bank of Dallas, and the building itself has been, what, 10 years?
I think it was 10 years,
yeah. So for 10 years, the building has been turned off, and then just the other day, 2 days ago, they turned their lights back on. So how lucky are we to be part of that project? And it's just a new, beautiful building that is going to be a fantastic addition to the Dallas skyline.
I'm excited.
Me too. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. And thank you for joining me and our amazing gallery director, Kristen Rivas. She has been with us. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been with us?
Ooh, I have been here a little over 6 years. So I've spent some time here. I know the place pretty well. Known JD, Leah the whole time. I mean, they are amazing. I could not ask for a better team. And Grace just coming on, we love her.
Yes, I've been here since March. Like we said, 2 weeks before the pandemic was when it started. And I feel so fortunate to learn from Kristen and until recently sit next to her every day. She's an amazing director to learn from, and I'm just more than honored to be learning from her, working with her, and doing everything with her.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so now we're going to go back to the studio with JD. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
am I live? It's amazing. Wow, you guys, it really is exciting to represent the kind of artists that we do. When that, especially that new piece of Tyler's came in, you guys haven't seen it yet, but the one up front, the Goddesses of Olympus, I mean, it literally took my breath away. In fact, I already talked to Tyler, and I'm going to add that to my collection, so my private collection. But okay, for those who are just tuning in, we are here for our first official Reflection Friday, Samuel Lynne Galleries in Dallas, Texas. We will be doing this every first Friday from now on. And we're going to start at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and going to do a lot of things. Tonight, I'm doing a small version of this massive painting that I did for the National. It's the new National Hotel. It's going to be in downtown Dallas. It was originally a building that was built in 1964, 52 stories. At the time it was built, it was the tallest building west of the Mississippi. And it sat vacant now for 10 to 15 years, but Sean Todd and his group they are spending $450 million to bring this building back, not to its original glory, but better. And it's going to be a combination of a beautiful hotel There'll be very, very exclusive personal residences. They're spending over $4 million just in art, which we love that. In fact, David Yarrow, who is the #1 selling photographer in the world now, and we are proud to be the #1 gallery for him in the US, and we're #2 in the world out of 23 galleries, just behind London, which is his hometown. So we're doing okay here in Dallas, Texas. But we are putting in 25 Yarrows, as the girls were just showing you one of the pieces that are going in. So it's just exciting to be part of these, projects like this. So this painting behind me, these two massive paintings are commissioned that they asked me to create for the hotel lobby, and that's going to be open in October. And they wanted it to tie into these rich fabrics, to the golds and these jewel tones. They're importing furniture from all over the world, and you're going to walk in, there's going to be the reception desk, and then to the right of that is this massive wooden, dark jewel tone wood wall, and these two 9-foot by 7-foot canvases are going to be mounted there side by side. And again, the way that I work, it's oil paint, and I have to do it while it's wet. It's wet and wet. You can't just do a little bit, come back the next day, do a little bit. Has to be done like I'm doing tonight while the oil is wet. And so I came in on Wednesday of this week. The boys mixed over 200 tubes of paint. Took a week to build these canvases, and I came in Wednesday, started at 9 a.m. and I finished at 1 a.m. and I worked over 14 hours straight and literally took a 20-minute break to eat a little bit of food midway through. And again, I take a lot of inspiration from Picasso, and he said that when he went into the studio, he checked his body at the door. I mean, that's what happens with this. Right, Israel? You walk in and literally time disappears. And so that's what I did. This painting took 14 hours, and I'm thrilled to death. You guys are the first to see it. And when the hotel's open, I encourage you to go down and see this amazing masterpiece that they're creating. So what I'm doing, and I've just got a little bit of time left, this program will be an hour and a half. We're going to finish right at 8:30 tonight. And I'm doing a miniature version tonight. I had some of the paint left over, and I started with the grid. You can see some of these purple and blue lines underneath, just like you can in here, which gives it a structure. And what I'm going to do right now is finish it out and hopefully bring it into something that looks like a completed painting. By the way, Marcus, do we have our intro queued up? Okay, so I just wanted you guys to see some. My brother, Marcus Jeffrey Miller, is our director tonight, and he has put this show together, and there are a lot of moving parts, but he came in Monday night of this week, brought his drone in and a crew, and shot this little 30-second intro. We wrote some original music for it, and I'd just like to paint it right, or have him play it right now before I finish this last section. And Marcus, if you can roll tape, that'd be cool. Yes. All right, Marcus, good job. How about that? How about those gorgeous, our director, Kristen Rivas, and our assistant director, Grace Cooper, welcome you into the gallery. And yep, that's going to be our intro from now on. Just kind of like Bill Maher. I don't know if you guys watch that, but I love his start the clock. And so that's going to be our start the clock intro. All right, we got about, what, 20 minutes left? Roughly, whatever. Okay, 20 whatever. All right, so here I am. I'm about 2/3 of the way through on this painting. And again, the oil is totally wet. And I'm using basically the same colors I did in the National Commission. And that's the thing. All of these golds, all these rich tones, they're all made with gold paint. It's the same paint, but we're just adding different bits of color to it to vary it. So I'm looking at it right now, and it needs a little work. So let's see if we can bring this together. I'm going to just put a little bit of that. That's the wrong color there. That's a beautiful thing about oil. If you don't like it, you just mix a little bit more. Let's bring a little of this burnt sienna in here. And I feel like this is just getting a little muddy down here. So I'm just going to come across there and bring these two colors around. And see again, look at that, gone, all that stuff there. Oil is so much fun. Yeah, this is better. There we go. Feels better. All right. Okay. And I'm just going to bring just a few, like I'm going to leave some of this underpainting, but I want to bring a few of these edges around and make this feel like one painting. Let's do this. I actually have this mixed up, so I'm going to use some from the other day. I like this color. And you know, guys, I was saying earlier, I love Bob Ross. I mean, he was so amazing. He was the first one to really go on TV and do this kind of thing. But you know, if I could channel Bob Ross a little bit, then you know that really is a privilege. And so this is a nice way to do that. It's a tribute to him and to what he started. Gosh, 50 years ago. It's hard to believe. And right here, this is just feeling a little muddy. So there we go. See, that's starting to bring it together. It's just subtle things that make the difference between a painting that looks like you know what and something finished and complete. Okay, starting to unify it a little bit here. This color, I want to bring that in. So I'm going to bring a little bit here. The other thing too, again, for those of you who paint in oil, if you notice, I clean my knife constantly. What that does is it keeps the oil from getting muddy. And people that start with oil, they go, oh my God, I was going great, and the next thing I know, I've literally got mud. And that is the key, keeping your knife clean. So let's just put a couple little touches there. It's starting to feel better. Yes, like that. Trim that edge up. Okay, we're getting close. Now I just need to sort of think about this a little bit. There's a couple places that are looking good and a couple places that are not looking so good. So let's see if we can unify it. I really like this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this orange color, that's just pure gold and burnt sienna. Makes it really nice. Oh yeah, much better. Now that's flowing up, taking this, flowing up to the top of the canvas. All right. And then let's put a little bit of this one, this copper color, because it's still a little bit muddy there. Just want to keep it clean. Just leaving a little bit of the purple showing through. Starting to look better. Starting to look better. Let's do a little bit more here. I like those. That adds some variety to it. Again, not overworking the oil. Just leaving those strokes. You want to see. And let's do this. It's time to start bringing this thing together. You're probably wondering what's going to go in the circle. I'm wondering. Let's see. Before I do that, I've got a couple little touches. And then once we do that, that's going to be getting towards the finished painting. There we go. Look at that. See, that one stroke just started to bring that part in the bottom that was a little bit troubling. Yeah. Starting to come together. We're real close now. I want to bring this dark down here a little bit. To come in just a little down in there. And a little bit in there. Yeah. All right. Okay. And then this right here. Nope, not that color. Okay, let's throw this circle in here, and then we're going to bring it all together. I do want to bring that a little bit. There we go. Yeah, moving that black around. Sweet. Let's bring a little bit up to the top there. Got to move that color. Okay, getting close. All right, let's pop the circle in and then we'll see if we can add a few final strokes and just bring it together. So that circle I'm going to make with a little bit of my special Liz's black, which we talked about earlier. Instead of pure black, it's a mixture of alizarin crimson and purple. And blue, French ultramarine blue. And then we need some silver paint here. Let's see what happens. See if we can do this. And I need a bigger knife for this. That's a knife right there. Okay, here we go. Out of tissues. Got quiet in here. No guts, no glory, guys. Okay, I want a little more blue in there, because if I add the blue, that makes it more of a purple. There we go. Let's try this. Yeah. There, we're getting some interesting tones. Okay. Yeah. And what I'm doing actually is I'm bringing purple in to kind of grab the rest of the grid there, which makes it feel like it's all one painting. And then let's do this. What I want to do is add a couple of accents to it. Here we go. All right. And how much time do we have? Hair director? Oh, really? Okay. I think what I'll do is I'm going to finish this painting up, and we'll bring Kristen in here and talk a little bit about some of this new stuff we got in. But I have time, right? Okay. Thought I had to rush. Okay. Do you guys see on this right here, these circles? So what I'm doing, I'm going to do something similar there, but that gold yellow against the purple just makes it sing. And so that's what I'm hoping will bring this all together. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Only one way to find out. Okay. If you notice, I'm using a lot of paint. Yeah, see, it's starting to feel like a painting. There we go. There we go. I want this to come across here. Yes, that will bring, again, my mentor Liz taught me, move the color around. So I want to bring this stripe right across here and join that. Yes, starting to feel a little more cohesive. Not that. Okay. Just starting to clean it up. I need a little bit of that tan that we had. Bring the eye down there. Okay. And this white doesn't fit, so let's put that silver gold mixture that we made up earlier in there. Ah, I seem to have lost it. We'll just make some more. Good thing I got a lot of palettes. Okay, we're going to do a little silver and gold. Well, not that color. Here we go. There we go. And this is just a really cool color. Sort of looks like white, but not quite. Okay. Yeah. See how that white, there's nowhere else in it? And I'm going to get rid of that. Just going to go right over it. Okay, it's starting to come together. Let's bring that down so the eye completes itself. And then we're getting close, almost there. And I think I want to put a little pop of pure gold in here, like that. Occasionally you can put a pure paint in just for effect, like that. Bringing the eye around. And let's do one more. Right there. Okay. Getting close. A little bit of the purple showing through. We're almost there, guys.
JD, you've got me joining you.
Good. Are we? How much are we about time?
No, I just wanted to join you.
Good. I
wanted
love
to be
that.
a part
Yay.
of this. But I just wanted to say, how
Yes.
amazing does this look? And it looks so identical to this.
It's actually coming together now, isn't it?
I know, it looks great.
Yeah.
It really does.
I think
I like this metallic work. I think
You
it
do?
looks really good.
you do. And you have great taste.
I do have good taste.
I knew that. That's why we hired you. I think we're pretty close. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I want to do. I think I want to do one last thing.
So
And then
we
we're
had
close.
a question.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
What is it?
So you said this
Yes.
took you 14 hours.
Yes.
Was that the longest you've ever taken to paint something?
No.
And
No.
is this the quickest you've ever painted something?
No and no.
There we go.
I painted, the longest painting I ever did was actually when 9/11 hit. For those of you who obviously remember that, one of the things that as an artist, if you look at the great artists throughout history, they capture those moments in whatever their experience is, and they do it in their art. A great example is when the Houses of Parliament burned in the mid-1800s in London,
Yeah.
And J.M.W. Turner, Joseph Mallard Willem Turner, camped by the river and sketched that. It burned for 2 days. And so he made this painting. It was one of the most famous paintings of his career. And so when 911 hit, I mean, it was just devastating. And that night I went home. I happened to have 3 large canvases that I just had there. And I said, I have to capture it. I have to capture, I mean, the way that I and everybody felt. And so I started that night. I knew I had to start on the very day, and I painted for 48 hours straight.
Wow.
I didn't stop. I didn't sleep for 2 days.
Oh my
And it's
gosh.
actually going to be in my book. So we're going to release my new book
Yes, we have
next year.
the new book coming up next year, JD's new book, which is already
Abstract.
exciting to put
Yeah.
together.
So that was the longest. That was 48 hours.
Wow.
And the shortest was actually, this is crazy now that I think about it, the shortest painting I did. So guys, when you know this, when the George Floyd thing hit, and when he got murdered, and then all the riots started, weirdest thing is, that was the day I started catching COVID-19. I didn't know it at the time, but I was feeling really, really bad, and I was talking to Tyler Shields in LA, and I realized I don't know about you guys, but when that was all happening, I mean, I just felt dis-ease. You know, I felt sick about it, and I thought, I've got to capture that, because since 911, this whole thing with the COVID and the shutdown is the most impactful thing we've ever seen. So I came in the studio that night, and I decided that I was going to go to the moment when George Floyd was actually killed by that police officer.
I remember when you pulled us into the gallery the studio the next day.
It wasn't the next day, because remember?
Oh no, it was a long time later.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically what happened was I came in, was feeling bad, I was catching COVID, didn't know it at the time, and I literally, I tried to put myself right there when that actually happened. And I was there, and so I was standing here painting, and the guys had mixed up 30 tubes of black paint the day before for Leah Fisher, to do a painting. And I thought, what am I going to paint? Put on 3 canvases, and you guys will see this later. But I said, that's it. I'm going to do it in black and white. And I went in, and I took the knife, and I painted these 3 canvases, and guess how long it took?
48 hours.
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
9 minutes. I'm not kidding you. Probably
There's
to
your
the
answer,
second.
everyone.
No, and you see it. I mean, I went there and I saw that happen, and I put every stroke in these huge strokes, and it was 9 minutes.
I remember when you weren't here, but we were all here, and we came in the next day. We were like, what
the hell happened?
What is this?
Yeah.
How did this come about? How was this created? And then you told us, and then as you just explained to us now, it's pretty incredible. Oh, we have our director, gallery
Yes.
director,
Is it
Christian
time?
Rivas.
Just wanted to let
Yes.
everyone know we
Yeah.
only have 10 minutes left. So
Yeah,
if you want to
good.
finish that thing.
Get
to work.
I'm actually pretty close. I mean, I don't know.
This is my job here. So.
Yeah.
You need to hop to it.
No, I'm pretty close. I'll put a couple more things on it. All right, you want to stay up
Would
here
you
and
say
talk while I do?
that you've bobbed the job? Bob a job?
No, I haven't.
Bob the job is an English expression,
This
like
one-
job well done.
That does not sound like
I don't.
I know.
This painting is like almost there, you know, sometimes. Let me just look at this a second. I can usually pull these out of my butt. Just when you think it's all over. Yeah, so anyway, that was the night I caught COVID, and I actually had a pretty wicked case, and I was the one that got the aches and the chills and the delirium, and it literally, when I got home, I painted that night till 11:30, and I was so tired that I couldn't even clean my knife, and I went home, and when it hit me, it knocked me off my feet, literally. Thank God I was standing by my bed, because it hit, and bam, and it was like chills and aches, and you hear about the delirium. I went to another planet for 48 hours. And I told Leah that night, I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, but If I don't, I want you to know, and my daughter and all my friends, that I'm at peace. I've had the best life anybody could ever have. I have no regrets. And you know what? That whole experience changed my life. So, you know, there's a lot that's coming out of this whole thing, and hopefully it's kind of a wake-up call for us. I know it was for me. I was out for 5 weeks, and when I finally came back in, I had a renewed sense of energy, and I've never felt more alive in my life. And this painting's really close. I'm almost done.
So what do you think you're going to do with this painting once you finish?
I'm going to sell it to you.
Oh. Don't you want to just gift it to me instead?
Uh-huh, yeah. Yeah, we'll put that in your paycheck. All right. All right, see, just a couple little hits. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a little. This is so close. There we go.
It looks really good. It almost looks really, it's almost identical to
Yeah, now
this
look,
one.
it's coming together. We're almost there, guys. Well, what do we have? Kristen, how much time do we have? Because I'm about
What
done.
are we at? 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Well, guys,
All right, what do you guys think?
Do we have any questions, comments?
yeah? Who said that? Thank you. Okay, I think, you know, there's one place that's bothering me that's a little messy, and I think if I fix that, we'll be okay. I think we might be there, guys. It's a miracle. I need black. There we go. Almost. There we go. Okay. One more touch, and then I think I'm done. I think I'm done working, and we'll have a glass of wine together. There we go. Better. Just using the scraps. This. And what that does is it brings that dark down. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. Let's sign this, and then we'll wrap up our first Reflection Friday. Yay! Yay! What do you guys think? Sign it here or there? Left? Left, okay. I'm going with left. Here we go. I love this because I signed right in the wet paint. So you know it was wet when we did it and when we finished it. Okay, and then what is today? Because on my live paintings before an audience, which this counts, I put the date. What is the date? Is it August? 8? 8/7. And it's still 20. Yeah. Damn. I was hoping we might have skipped a year. All right, and then the last thing we'll do, I always put a little color on the eye, and you know what I'm going to do is the same as I did on this. If you guys look at this later, can't see it, but right there, the only place I put red on it is there. And I'm going to do the same thing for this. Just a little pop of color at the end. A dot on the eye. Here we go. Look at that. I lost Arturo right here. There we go. All right, it's done. All right.
Yay!
Grace, what do you think?
I think it looks fantastic. And I
Wow.
think everyone here would pretty much agree with us.
Did you guys have fun? Yeah. All right, so a week or 1 month from tonight, we'll be back, and we'll announce who's coming in, but we're going to have some special guests in for that.
Yes, we're hoping to bring in some very special people for every single one of you to watch and enjoy. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.
The next few months will be very exciting as far as Reflection Friday goes, at least I think.
And guys, just for those of you who haven't been to the gallery, come and see us in Dallas.
Yes, we are open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the week, and then Saturday we are open 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Kristen or I will be here, JD will be here.
Always.
Come and see the new artwork. You already saw what's new at SLG. We would love for you to come in. I know those new Tyler Shields and Matisses are gonna go fast, so come in and look at them while you still can. Thank you so much.
And I want to thank again Marcus Jeffrey Miller for directing. Marcus, putting this whole thing together tonight. Video Wise is his company. Kristen Rivas, Arturo Marino,
Yes.
Grace Cooper. And remember, guys, it's all a reflection of you. See you next month.
Thank you so much. See you next month.
Woo.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.